conditions couldn't be worse. So screwed from the rain. Go on! Came in too hot. I'd give the visibility 2 out of 10. The goal this weekend is to climb the 9,000 to 10,000 metre course, 300 kilometre of the Petit Brevet in under 20 hours is the goal. I've sort of worked out I need to average 15 k's an hour, written everything down, where I need to be and when to try and achieve that. So hopefully as I go I'll be able to update you on whether I'm ahead or behind schedule. Well, it's 5:45, I'm on my way to the start and conditions couldn't be worse. Certainly going to make what was already going to be a bad day a pretty miserable one. Can't wait. Cool. The Petit Brevet has always been a special one for me. Back in 2016, my mate Rufus talked me into competing for the first time, where I turned up with a school bag and a sleeping roll. After a cold night sleeping on the wharf in Akaroa, we managed to complete about 5,000 metres climbing that year. Since then, it has been an annual dose of mental conditioning for me, racing a few different sized maps over the years, but never really nailing it. Winning the Great British Divide earlier in the year has given me the confidence to do it all in one hit and go for sub 20 hours. And things were looking good, potentially too good, arriving in Pigeon Bay just 3.5 hours after starting. My fear was that the horrendous weather and being soaked to the bone was making me push harder than what I'd planned. With a normalised power of over 290 watts and an average speed of over 20 k's an hour, I knew these numbers would decline. But the question on my mind was how far they'd fall. My drivetrain is just so screwed from the rain. Put quite a new chain on an old chain ring and it's grabbing. I've gone for the mountain bike, hoping it pays off in the next hour and a half, because other than that you can really get away with the gravel bike. I'm going to go for it now. Go on! Go on, Gil! Came in too hot. After climbing out a little river, I noticed the temperature dropping pretty fast. By the time I was in the eastern facing bays, it was down to 9 degrees. As I planned out my fueling strategy a few days earlier, I hadn't taken account for the excessive calorie consumption due to the cold. As a result, I'd finished my 500 ml of maple syrup and potato fritters far earlier than expected, leaving me to move on to my backup carbs. I hadn't actually planned on stopping at the O'Kane's base shop, but I'm so glad I did. Hot pie warmed the soul. That and the base layer, which I hadn't taken the time to put on yet.
Hours in now, sort of trudging away, cold legs, aren't really firing, but it's alright. We're doing alright. You never know, we might still pull a blinder and get under 20, but the pace is definitely declining. Stay tuned. The problem is, I keep getting headaches every time I descend because I have to blink so much because the rain is just slapping my eyeballs. I'm not going to be able to see much, but this may improve things. We'll see. Probably a terrible call. That was a good call. I'd give the visibility 2 out of 10, but the brain and the eyeballs are happy with the decision. Just had my first thought of a hot bath, but it's way too soon for that sort of carry on. Not boding well. I've got 10 more hours out here before I can start thinking about hot baths. It's going to be good though, a few Epsom salts maybe.
At this point I'm droning on about how I should have dipped my chain in wax and bought an Axis drivetrain so I can change gears with numb fingers. Well, in that crash I managed to lose my bottle and rip my light off my handlebars, but I wasn't phased. Just happy to be arriving in Akaroa, the course's main resupply. I decided to put my final dry layer on so I didn't freeze over when I was in the shop. I also prepared a shopping list, making sure to get both sweet and savoury high-calorie foods. I find fueling these ultras is like a dark art that often makes the difference to a successful day out and hitting a wall. The guts are never stoked on what's going on, but if it's still digesting, I'm still moving. I then filled my emergency water bladder and pedalled halfway up the next hill where it was warm enough to get some calories in.
My average is now 14.8 k's an hour. Now if I want to do it in 20 hours, I need to be at 15 k's an hour. I reckon it'll be all good because I've done all the single track, but it could be tough. 12 hours of rain, the sun is trying to poke through. That would just make my day. Woo!
So at this point I'm 15 hours in. It's just gone dark, my hands and wrists are losing their feeling. My gut is churning, so I'm just force feeding myself and my legs have zero power. But I'm on the home stretch and I know there's still a chance of achieving that sub 20 hour goal.
Well, that's it. Pretty stoked to complete that. Over 9,000 metres climbing, 300 k's, horrific conditions, 19 hours and 18 minutes. Stoked with that. And yeah, hope you enjoyed following along. I don't know whether I did a good job of portraying it. It was probably one of the hardest days in the bike that I've ever had. Just suffering really and cold, but sort of all worth it now when you sit down and you take it in. I'm off there with us. Thanks for watching.